My dear friends, listen carefully. Life gives us signs, but only those who are awake will recognize them. September 10, 11, and 12, these are not ordinary days. These are turning points. These 3 days will test you. They will challenge your mindset, your patience, your discipline. If you remain passive, you will miss the opportunity. If you stay alert, you will rewrite your destiny. In life, there are moments that decide the next chapter. These 3 days are like seeds. How you act, how you think, what you choose during these days will determine what will grow in your future. Let me share with you 4 key insights that you must remember for these days. Energy is everything. It is not just a phrase. It is a universal truth that governs everything we do, everything we feel, and everything we become. On September 10, 11, and 12, this truth becomes even more powerful because these 3 days will be a reflection of the energy you choose to hold. Every thought you allow into your mind, every word you speak, every action you take is energy. And the kind of energy you nurture will decide whether these days will transform your life or keep you trapped in the same patterns you have been living in. So what is energy? Many people think of energy as something physical, like the strength to move or work, but true energy is much deeper. It is the vibration you carry within. It is the invisible force that determines what you attract and what you repel. Look around you. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. Positive thoughts have a frequency, negative thoughts have a frequency, gratitude has a frequency, and so does fear. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first energy you allow into your space? Is it gratitude for being alive, or is it stress, anger, and worry? These small choices create the energy field around you. And that field decides the opportunities that come to you, the people who approach you, and the events that shape your life. On these 3 crucial days, you must protect your energy as if your future depends on it, because it does. Think of your energy like water in a jar. If you keep the lid open, dust, dirt, and poison will enter. If you leave it exposed, it will evaporate. This is exactly what happens when you allow negativity, gossip, arguments, and unnecessary drama into your life. They drain your energy. They poison your vibration. And when your energy is low, everything feels heavy. You feel tired even before you start your day. You lose clarity, you lose focus, and you lose the ability to make good decisions. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine waking up and taking full control of your energy. Imagine starting your day in silence, breathing deeply, feeling the gratitude of being alive, and focusing on what you want instead of what you fear. That shift in energy will change how you experience these 3 days. Opportunities will feel closer, conversations will feel lighter, and solutions will appear where you only saw problems before. It is not magic, it is alignment. When your energy is high, you align with the flow of life. Things start working for you because you are in harmony with them. But here is the challenge. Protecting your energy is not passive. It requires awareness and discipline. You need to be aware of what drains you and what fuels you. Some people will come to you only to dump their problems on you, only to spread fear and doubt. They are like energy thieves. If you are not careful, they will take away your power and leave you empty. Do not allow that. You can be kind, you can be compassionate, but do not be available for negativity. Because every time you give your energy to negativity, you are taking it away from your goals, your peace, and your future. So how do you guard your energy during these days? Start by choosing your thoughts carefully. Thoughts are seeds. Every thought you entertain grows roots and creates your reality. If you spend your day thinking, what if things go wrong? What if I fail? What if I am not good enough? Then you are planting seeds of fear, and fear grows fast. But if you choose thoughts like, I am capable, I am ready, life is working in my favor, opportunities are coming to me, then you are planting seeds of strength, hope, and growth. These seeds will grow, and the energy they create will surround you like a shield. Next, watch your words. Words carry power. They are not just sounds, they are vibrations that can heal or harm. When you speak negative words, you lower your energy and the energy of those around you. Complaining, criticizing, blaming, these are poisons. They spread negativity, not just in your environment, but in your own soul. Instead, speak words of encouragement, words of possibility, words that uplift. If you cannot speak something positive, stay silent. Silence is better than negativity. And then, pay attention to your environment. Your environment is like soil, and you are the seed. If the soil is toxic, the seed will never grow strong. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, who see only problems, who talk about others instead of ideas, then you are in toxic soil. These 3 days, protect yourself from such environments. Spend time with people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, who talk about dreams instead of fears. If you cannot find such people, spend time with yourself. Read a book that uplifts you. Listen to a talk that strengthens your mindset. Walk in nature and let the energy of the earth heal you. You see, energy is not something you find outside, it is something you create inside. But the outside can influence it. So you need to be wise about where you place yourself and who you give access to. Do not be available to everyone during these days. Your time and your energy are sacred. Spend them wisely. Because what you do with your energy in these 3 days will decide the opportunities that come in the next 30 days. Life is a chain reaction. What you think, say, and do now will return to you multiplied. And remember, protecting your energy does not mean avoiding challenges or escaping responsibilities. It means facing them with strength and calmness instead of fear and chaos. When you are grounded in your energy, even the biggest storms cannot shake you. When you are centered, the world can be in chaos, but inside, you are unshakable. That is the power of energy. So during these 3 days, every time you feel drained, every time you feel negative, pause and ask yourself, where am I giving my energy? If it is going to things that do not serve you, take it back. Redirect it. Protect it. Because your energy is your life. Without it, nothing works. With it, everything flows. Let me leave you with this truth. Energy attracts energy. When you choose positivity, you attract positivity. When you choose fear, you attract fear. The universe does not give you what you ask for, it gives you what you vibrate. So vibrate at the frequency of strength, hope, and courage. These 3 days are your chance to reset your energy. Do not waste them. Because if you master your energy, you master your life. Discipline is freedom. It sounds like a paradox, but it is the truth that most people fail to understand. When you look at the lives of people who achieve greatness, who live with purpose, who experience true freedom, you will always find discipline at the foundation. And when you look at those who feel stuck, lost, and helpless, you will see the absence of discipline. These 3 days, September 10, 11, and 12, are a test of your discipline. They will reveal whether you are a master of yourself or a slave to your impulses. Because the way you behave during these days will set the tone for the rest of the month and beyond. Why is discipline so powerful? Because life is a series of choices, and without discipline, you will always choose what feels easy, not what is right. You will always choose comfort over growth, pleasure over progress, excuses over action. And every time you choose the easy path, you pay the price later in regret, pain, and failure. Discipline is the ability to choose long-term benefit over short-term pleasure. It is the strength to say no when every part of you wants to say yes to something that will destroy your progress. But here is the truth: discipline is not punishment. Many people fear discipline because they associate it with restriction, control, and suffering. They think, if I am disciplined, I will lose my freedom. I will lose my happiness. This is the biggest misunderstanding. In reality, the opposite is true. Without discipline, you are a prisoner a prisoner of your habits, your cravings, your laziness, your fears. Without discipline, you cannot say no to the things that destroy you, and you cannot say yes to the things that build you. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom, it is the door to freedom. Look at your life. Where do you feel stuck? Where do you feel trapped? Is it your finances, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind? In every area where you feel trapped, you will find the absence of discipline. If you are drowning in debt, it is because you lacked the discipline to control spending. If your body feels weak, it is because you lacked the discipline to eat well and move. If your mind feels restless, it is because you lack the discipline to choose what you consume mentally. Freedom is the result of discipline. You earn freedom through control of yourself. On these 3 days, you have a choice. You can continue living in the illusion of freedom, doing whatever you feel like in the moment, avoiding effort, postponing action, and then suffer the consequences. Or you can embrace discipline and create real freedom. Freedom to wake up with energy. Freedom to do what you love because your finances are in order. Freedom to feel proud of yourself because you mastered your impulses. These 3 days can be the turning point, but it will require discipline. Discipline begins the moment you wake up. When the alarm rings, do you get up or do you press snooze? That simple decision is the first battle of the day. If you win that battle, you start your day with power. If you lose, you start your day with weakness. It is not about the alarm. It is about the message you send to yourself. When you get up immediately, you tell yourself, I am in control. My goals are more important than my comfort. When you hit snooze, you tell yourself, comfort is more important than my dreams. And that message shapes the rest of your day. Discipline is not about big acts of heroism. It is about small, consistent actions that build strength over time. It is about choosing water over soda, a workout over the couch, reading over mindless scrolling, gratitude over complaining. These choices seem small, but they are the bricks that build the foundation of your life. Every act of discipline adds strength to your character, and every act of laziness weakens it. The reason these 3 days are crucial is because they give you a chance to set a pattern. Momentum is powerful. If you spend these 3 days with discipline, you create momentum that will carry you forward. You will feel proud of yourself, and that pride will push you to continue. But if you waste these days in laziness, you create the opposite momentum, the momentum of excuses, the momentum of procrastination, the momentum of weakness. And once that momentum builds, it becomes very hard to stop. So what does discipline look like in these days? It looks like structure. Do not wake up without a plan. Do not drift through the day reacting to whatever happens. That is how most people live, and that is why most people stay average. Create a structure. Decide what time you will wake up. Decide what you will work on. Decide what you will avoid. And then keep those promises to yourself. Because discipline is nothing more than self-respect. When you keep the promises you make to yourself, you build trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, your confidence grows. Many people ask, how do I find motivation? Stop looking for motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It is like the wind, sometimes it blows, sometimes it doesn't. If you depend on motivation, you will never be consistent. Discipline is doing what you need to do even when you do not feel like it. Discipline is action without negotiation. You do not ask yourself, do I feel like working out? Do I feel like studying? Do I feel like being productive? You simply do it because your goals are non-negotiable. The mind is clever. It will give you excuses. It will tell you, start tomorrow. Take it easy. You deserve a break. And if you listen, you lose. Because every time you choose an excuse, you train your mind to be weak. Every time you choose discipline, you train your mind to be strong. And a strong mind can face any challenge, any storm, any obstacle. A weak mind breaks under pressure. So use these 3 days as training for your mind. Every time you feel like quitting, every time you feel like skipping, remind yourself, this is the moment I build strength. This is the moment I grow. Discipline also means controlling your environment. If you keep junk food in your house, you will eat it. If you keep distractions around you, you will give in. Do not rely on willpower alone. Design your environment for success. Remove the things that tempt you. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals. Create a space that makes discipline easy and laziness hard. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. Now you might think, but discipline feels hard. It feels like sacrifice. Yes, it does. But so does regret. And regret is heavier than discipline. Regret stays with you for years, sometimes forever. Discipline is temporary discomfort that leads to long-term freedom. Regret is long-term pain caused by short-term comfort. Which one do you choose? Imagine this, you wake up on September 13 and look back. Will you feel proud that you used these 3 days with discipline? Or will you feel the pain of wasted time? The choice is yours. Do not underestimate the power of 3 days. 3 days of real discipline can change your mindset, change your habits, and change your direction. It is not about perfection, it is about progress. Even if you win 80% of the battles, you are moving forward. So take control, create structure, keep your promises. Do not depend on feelings. Do not wait for motivation, act. Because these 3 days are not just about time, they are about identity. Every disciplined action tells your mind, I am strong, I am capable, I am in control. And every undisciplined action tells your mind, I am weak, I am a slave to my impulses. Which message do you want to send? Discipline is freedom. When you master yourself, you are free from fear, free from regret, free from chaos. You are free to live the life you dream of. But that freedom is not given, it is earned. Earn it in these 3 days. Start now. Do not wait, because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. And when you begin, do not stop. Consistency is the secret. Anyone can be disciplined for 1 day, but can you do it for 3? Can you do it when it gets hard? That is the test. And if you pass, your life will never be the same. Silence brings clarity. In a world that is constantly loud, where every second is filled with notifications, conversations, opinions, and noise, silence has become one of the rarest and most valuable treasures. And during these 3 crucial days, September 10, 11, and 12, you must understand the power of silence, because clarity will decide your actions, and your actions will decide your future. Most people are afraid of silence because they are afraid of what they might hear when everything else becomes quiet. They drown themselves in distractions because facing their own thoughts feels uncomfortable. But growth begins in discomfort, and silence is the space where your mind, your heart, and your soul can finally speak to each other without interruption. It is the space where truth reveals itself. Think about it. How many of your decisions in life were made in haste, in confusion, in chaos? How many times did you act because someone else was shouting louder than your own inner voice? When you live without silence, you live without direction. You become like a leaf blown by the wind, always moving, but never deciding where to go. Silence gives you back the steering wheel. It gives you the ability to stop, breathe, and ask, what do I truly want? What is the right path for me? These 3 days are not ordinary days. They are days that will shape the coming weeks, maybe the coming months of your life. And if you move through them in noise, you will miss their message. Because life speaks in whispers, not in shouts. If you do not create silence, you will not hear the whisper. The opportunities, the warnings, the answers you seek, they will not come in the middle of chaos. They will come in the stillness of a quiet mind. So, what is silence? It is not just the absence of sound, it is the absence of inner noise. You can sit in a quiet room, but if your mind is loud, you are not in silence. True silence is when you create space inside your mind, when you slow down the constant chatter of thoughts, fears, and plans. And when that chatter slows down, clarity appears like sunlight breaking through clouds. Suddenly, what was confusing becomes simple. What felt heavy becomes light. But reaching that silence requires practice, because the mind is like a restless child. It wants to keep moving, keep talking, keep chasing something. To bring it to stillness, you need to train it. Start with something simple. For these 3 days, give yourself at least 15 minutes of complete silence every morning and every night. No phone, no TV, no conversations. Just you and your breath. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Watch your thoughts without chasing them. Do not fight them. Let them come and go, like clouds passing through the sky. And slowly, you will notice a gap between thoughts, a moment of pure stillness. That moment is gold. That moment is where clarity is born. In that clarity, you will see truths you were blind to before. You will realize what truly matters and what doesn't. You will see which battles are worth fighting and which ones are just ego. You will recognize the toxic patterns, the people who drain you, and the habits that steal your time. And you will also see the opportunities, the things you need to start, the relationships you need to nurture, the risks you need to take. All of this comes when the noise fades and silence takes over. Silence also gives you power over your emotions. When you are constantly reacting to noise, news, social media, opinions, you live in reaction mode. You become a puppet controlled by outside forces. One headline changes your mood. One comment ruins your day. One negative word steals your peace. But when you practice silence, you create space between stimulus and response. Something happens, and instead of reacting immediately, you pause, you breathe. You choose your response consciously. That is freedom, and that freedom only comes from the discipline of silence. Many people think silence is weakness. They think, if I don't speak, I lose. If I don't respond, I look weak. But the opposite is true. Silence is strength. Weak people cannot stay silent. They are slaves to their ego. Strong people choose silence because they do not need to prove anything. They know who they are. They do not waste energy on unnecessary battles. They save their energy for what matters. And during these 3 days, saving your energy will be critical because your energy creates your reality. Another gift of silence is creativity. Every great invention, every masterpiece, every life-changing idea was born in silence. You cannot create when your mind is crowded. Creativity needs space, and silence is that space. If you feel stuck, if you feel uninspired, do not look for answers in noise. Turn inward. Create silence. Your mind already has the answers, it just needs room to speak. Silence is also healing. Stress, anxiety, anger, they all feed on noise. When you remove the noise, you remove their fuel. You allow your nervous system to calm down, your heart rate to slow, your body to relax. And in that state, healing begins. Physical healing, mental healing, emotional healing, all of it accelerates in silence. That is why monks, sages, and wise people throughout history have always valued silence. It is not a coincidence, it is a law of life. So during these 3 days, do not just go through the motions. Do not wake up and run straight into the chaos of the world. Give yourself moments of silence, because in those moments, you will find your strength. Do not underestimate this. One moment of true clarity can save you from years of wrong choices. One moment of silence can reveal an answer that changes everything. But that answer will not come if you are too busy scrolling, talking, and listening to everyone else. Learn to disconnect. Turn off your phone for an hour. Sit by yourself without fear. Walk in nature without headphones. Listen, not to music, not to podcasts, but to life. To the sound of your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the wisdom inside you that has been waiting for your attention. This is not wasted time. This is the most valuable time you can spend. Because everything begins in the mind, and the mind becomes clear only in silence. And remember, this silence does not mean isolation. You can be silent in the middle of a crowd if your mind is still. It is not about where you are, it is about what you are. You carry silence within you like a hidden sanctuary. And when you enter that sanctuary, no chaos can touch you, no negativity can penetrate you. You become untouchable, unshockable, unstoppable. That is the gift of silence. So, my friend, use these 3 days to practice silence. Not just external silence, but inner silence. Start with minutes, grow into hours. Let your mind breathe. Let your soul speak. And when clarity comes, act on it. Because silence without action is wasted. But silence with action is power. These 3 days can be the reset your life needs. Do not waste them in noise. Choose silence. Choose clarity. And clarity will lead you to freedom.